Hey everyone, welcome to Mitch's Man Cave. It's been a while, but we're glad to be back. We've got a new member here, a new caveman. His name is Eric Lambier, and he's a good friend of ours. He's replacing the departed Daniel McDonald. D-Mac has some work obligations that he needs to take care of, so he won't be on the show anymore for the time being. So we welcome Lambier to the show, and why don't you give a little intro of yourself?
Well, thank you very much. Happy to be here. My name's Eric. I'm a Taurus. I enjoy the outdoors. And I just had to study up for this job. I think I'll be all right. I watched the last season of Eastbound and Down the other day, so I think I got a good handle on sports forum etiquette, so I think I'll be all right.
Yep, that's pretty much the platform for this show. So how is it being a Taurus?
It's good. April's a good month.
Yeah?
Yeah, Diamond's the birthstone. I think things go pretty well. I was born on Earth Day, too, so double trouble.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Best parts of April.
All right, well, since it's been a while, what have you guys been up to in the last few weeks? I think it's been about a month since we've been back in the man cave.
Well, I've been working a lot, just trying to keep making money and, increase my hours over at the radio station and trying to get back out there and play some sports. We played some basketball the other day, and it felt unbelievable. I'm incredibly sore still from a game on Tuesday, so that lets me know I need to start working out a little bit more, but things are great, man.
Yeah, it was fun playing basketball the other day. It took me a game to kind of get back into it, and then the second game I felt like I was 20, 21 again, hooping out there with the kids.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike.
Yeah,
really,
I'm ready to dominate kids, though, this summer. It's happening. As soon as the weather turns, Lambier, I plan on being out by your basketball court. That's your street, right, where that park is?
Yeah, a little bougie court
Yeah,
there, little mini
we should
court.
get out there in the afternoons and hoop it up.
There's a lot of kids out there all the time, man.
All right, we'll have to go take over the court.
Yeah, let's go hold it down.
Let's go dominate some 15-year-olds.
I'll have to dunk on some people. Hopefully I'm not on Milt's team so I can embarrass them like I always do.
Child, please.
Milt and I have a little bit of a rivalry on the court. Milt always runs his mouth and thinks that he's hot stuff, and then I get him on the court, and he shuts his mouth real quick.
That jaw keeps flapping. You better believe.
Keeps flapping until he's gassed by the first game.
I thought I was going to see him dunk when we played last time. He was saying he could dunk nowadays.
I got to get my legs underneath me. That was back when I was at the gym 3-4 times a week. There is some video footage out there on the internet of me throwing it down with the lovely right hand. But
editing software is amazing.
8-foot hoop, maybe.
This was the first basketball I played in 2014, so I've been slipping on my athletics and keeping in shape. But don't let me get started with a nice workout routine, because I will be John Walling on all you guys.
Well, you better get yourself back into shape if you're going to step on the court with me, because I'm already back.
Uh-oh.
Jace, tell him what the crowd was saying when I played ball last week.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Moo. Moo was, I think Moo was in love with you at the time. He's like, "Oh, Mitch, the Andover legend here single-handedly took down the faculty and student faculty game." And I'm like, well, I had some points that game. I'm pretty sure Milt had some points that game.
No, I wasn't there.
You weren't there?
No.
Oh, but it wasn't just Mitch on his own. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I mean, kids are talking you up.
I scored 28 points that game, so it pretty much was all me. I still have the net from cutting it down that night upstairs.
Wow,
I mean,
you guys made a big deal out of it, huh?
It was glorious. It was the first time
ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was my biggest prideful moment of my entire life.
I wish all you out there
down
could
the
see the
faculty.
smile on Mitch's face right now. It's the biggest smile I've seen on his face in weeks.
Yeah, it's a good one. Anyways, the Olympics are going on right now over in Sochi, Russia. I heard the accommodations are very poor. It kind of sounds like it was like the breezes for Bahamas spring break, Jace, for senior year.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it sounds like they're staying in over there in Sochi. But anyways, the semifinals for men's hockey has come down to 4 teams: USA, Canada, Finland, and Sweden. And USA and Canada will be playing each other in one side of the semis, and Finland versus Sweden in the other. It seems to me that the winner of the USA-Canada game is going to be probably the favorite in the gold medal game. Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper and President Obama have a little bet going on, and they bet a case of beer, and the loser gets to keep Justin Bieber.
That's a joke, right?
It's a good little side bet.
I don't know. Maybe it is.
Or did they actually state the Justin Bieber
No,
thing?
it's not really
What
stated.
kind of
That's
beer did they
good,
bet?
though.
Does it say
That's what I
kind
was going to ask you guys. What do you think? If USA wins, what kind of beer do you think Obama's going to buy for Prime Minister Stephen Harper?
It's got to be an American beer.
Yeah.
Let's give
What's the
some
most
Schlitz.
top shelf?
Hop Slam.
There you go.
it's
I don't
only
know if he's on that Bell's Michigan beer
Can
game.
we lobby for a Michigan beer? Is there like a website where we can lobby this kind of thing?
We should start like a Twitter campaign or something.
it's only around so long. It's expensive. It's strong. You know, it's
But first, we have to win the
Hustling.
game. America has to win first. So what do you guys think? What are the chances that America? Would you say that if USA won, that it'd be an upset? You think Canada's favored or the favorite to win?
I think you guys say that, but I think we're playing better at the moment.
We are. We've had some impressive victories.
Yeah.
Canada just squeaked by
they
Latvia.
look a little sloppy last game.
Yeah, 2-1.
the
That
only,
goalie had an amazing game. He played out of his mind. He finished,
Yeah.
57 saves or something
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous like that?
the only reason that I think the winner of the USA Canada game is going to win the gold is because Z's out for Sweden. You know, if Z was playing for Sweden, I think they'd have a shot, you know, to win it. But I think without him, I'm really counting them out to take the gold.
I think it's a big toss-up between the two. I mean, I don't think either team's better than the other. I really just think it's going to come down to whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, basically. And it's going to be like one, like just like with that goal that wasn't allowed for Russia.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the USA-Canada game, there's going to be one thing that really decides the game. So I look forward to watching.
What players for each team? Give me a couple players for each team that you think are key for their team to win to victory.
I think Carey Price, number one for
Because he hasn't really been tested yet.
Yeah, I think he's faced the least shots in the tournament.
Yeah.
For the teams that are still in it. And then let's see, Americans.
He's the goalie for Team Canada. For those that don't know.
Yeah, the goalie for Team Canada, starting goalie. But I'll pick a line. I'll say the Kessel, JVR, and who else is on that line?
Is it Kessler?
Pavelski. I think that line's going to be, if that line doesn't produce, then I think we might be in trouble. They've carried us the entire tournament, so.
Yeah, Phil Kessel has the most goals on the team, I believe.
Yeah, they should be going up against Shea Weber, and I'm not sure who they paired Shea Weber with, but he's probably going to be number one out there. Should be an interesting matchup to watch.
I think it's going to come down for America to Miller's not in goal, but who's
Jonathan Quick.
Quick. Okay, so Quick has to play amazing.
He's been playing pretty well.
Which he has
doing
been.
well.
And then I think the captain, Parise, needs to, put up a few stats. I know he's done all right, but he's not leading the team in assists or in goals or anything. So this would be a good game for him.
He's not really a point producer, though. He's like a scrappy guy, just a leader. We need those guys to step up, too. Him and Ryan Callahan, guys like that, really need to get into Sidney Crosby and those guys and bug them, knock them off the puck.
Be physical.
Everybody love a star when he on top. Nobody comes around when the star starts to drop. Strive to help others who help themselves. Knowledge of self and good health.
So we're looking forward to the USA versus Canada game tomorrow, and hopefully that America comes out on top. We've got a new segment that we're going to bring to you, courtesy of Jason. Jason, why don't you let the audience know what your segment is, and then tell them this week's version.
All right, Mitch, thanks. Guys, what I'm going to be doing is we're going to call this Watson's Watch of the Weekend. So I'm going to be picking a couple games, over the weekend, since we record normally on Thursdays, that I think you should tune in to see. And I actually had a perfect segue today talking about USA-Canada, because that's one of the must-watch games of the week, and I have another one that I'll get into in a second. But the USA men's hockey team will face off against Canada Friday afternoon in the semifinals. This rematch of the 2012 gold medal game means everything to the Americans, who finished with silver at the hands of Sidney Crosby. Come on, it's the Winter Olympics, a chance to play for gold in Sochi, and redemption for the heartbreaking loss 2 years ago. I'll be watching, and you should be watching too. So you heard it here, USA-Canada Friday at noon. USA, that's one of Watson's watches of the weekend. The other watch of the weekend is the Wolverines-Spartans clashing in Ann Arbor at Chrysler for the number one spot in the Big Ten. Michigan came away with the win in East Lansing earlier this season, and can they hold serve in one of the marquee matchups of the year? Chrysler will be rocking. There's a lot at stake, and you aren't going to want to miss this, so make plans to see it or set your DVR now. I'll be watching that, and you should be too. You heard it here first. U of M, MSU, Sunday at noon. And that's it for Watson's Watches of the Weekend.
Well, thank you, Jason. That was very well done. Milt, you're going to have some pressure when we introduce your new segment. Got some a big act to follow.
I bring the competition.
Okay, all
Did
right.
you write a script too?
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Are you hating on me for writing a script?
No comment.
No, not at all.
I was like,
Opposite. I'm saying that's professionalism at its finest.
thanks.
Right there. I'm putting the pressure on.
That was a
Even
high
though I don't
five.
have a segment yet.
It's actually an even more perfect segue, Jason, because I want to talk about that Michigan versus Michigan State game next.
I'm pumped.
So it's Sunday at noon, and the teams are tied atop the standings of the Big Ten with, I think each team has 3 or 4 games remaining after. But either way, whichever team comes out on top victorious is definitely going to have the inside track to win the Big Ten championship. We know that Michigan beat Michigan State in East Lansing 80-75 about a month ago, but Michigan State was playing without key players such as Adrian Payne and Brandon Dawson. Dawson is still out. Payne is back, but Keith Appling, their starting senior point guard, may not suit up to play. So that would be a big loss for them in the game.
I was hoping they had everybody, because after Michigan beat them in East Lansing, we haven't had our whole team this year, so I was really excited to see both squads healthy.
Right.
Obviously, no McGarry for Michigan, but see like a couple healthy squads.
Well, it's still going to be a really good game. It's in Ann Arbor at the Chrysler Center. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of State fans in attendance as well. I've attended I think one Michigan versus Michigan State game at Chrysler, and the State fans pile in. There's a good representative of State fans there. They do a good job of getting Michigan fans to sell them their tickets. I don't know how they do it. Sneaky, very sneaky.
Shadow
Very,
corporations.
very, very sneaky.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. What do you guys think about the game?
I'm real excited about the game. I want to talk about Michigan, and there's this guy on the team, goes by the name of Karis LeVert. I repeat, Karis LeVert, ladies and gentlemen, is a monster, okay? I'm not a big college basketball fan. This is the first year I really jumped on the bandwagon, and I watched that Michigan-Wisconsin game the other week. Even though Michigan lost, Karis LeVert went to work, and he just is amazing. Stauskas isn't as potent, isn't as good because the whole nation knows about him. People are guarding him like white on rice. He can't get a shot, but Karis LeVert is coming across really nice. And I think that if he has a big day, then we'll take down the Spartans because it's either him or Stauskas. Either they're going to lock down Stauskas and LeVert's going to pop, or they're going to lock down LeVert and Stauskas is going to pop. Either way, I'm happy.
I'm assuming that Michigan State's going to put Gary Harris, their shooting guard, on Stauskas like they did in the first game. Gary Harris is a tremendous, tremendous defender. So that will leave LeVert with probably an offensive mismatch in his favor. So he would be a key for sure.
My guy to watch is Derek Walton Jr. If he can control the tempo of the game and control the ball, and find guys like LeVert and Stauskas, open, I think that's going to be huge. And if he can play like he played a couple weeks ago, getting 10 boards and just being a big guy for having a small frame, that's going to go a long way. But I'm excited. It's going to be a good matchup. Michigan State has a lot to prove, and Michigan has a lot to defend.
My key player, I'm actually going to go with 2, both from Michigan State. The first is Adrian Payne. Michigan doesn't have a guy on the team that can really defend him.
And they didn't see him last time.
And they didn't see him last time. So he's going to be a big key for Michigan State. And then the other guy, and this is because of the injury to Appling, is Travis Trice. I just want to see how he does handling the starting point guard job in a rowdy atmosphere away from home. Lambeer, any thoughts?
Well, as you know, I'm impartial to the whole MSU U of M debate, but I think
tell everybody why.
This
is
I'm actually leading into that. I
Okay.
actually think MSU is going to come in all fired up, all focused, because they're going to lose tonight at Purdue. Because I'm a Purdue fan, everyone out there. I went to Purdue for a little bit, so I'm a Boilermaker before I'm a U of M MSU guy. And I think tonight in Mackey Arena, I think our big 7-footer Hammonds is going to post up Payne. I think he's going to neutralize him.
He's coming along.
Yeah, and I think the Johnson twins are going to go to work. And just as Assembly Hall can get crazy as all thing, like Mackey can get pretty rowdy as well, especially got someone like Michigan State coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Indiana, the residents are huge basketball fans.
Mm-hmm. The paint crew's gotten better over the years. I think we're getting up there as far as student sections go. It should be a pretty rowdy time. But I think Michigan State falls tonight and comes in really hungry and really refocused again for that Michigan game.
So you're taking State on Sunday?
Yeah, I'll take State on Sunday.
All right.
This is I'm glad you brought this up. I'm glad you brought that up because this is a big switch from DMAC, because DMAC was the resident Sparty, and now we haven't had anybody, even people who filled in when we haven't been able to make it, who's just completely impartial. So this is going to be
a pretty wild card.
Yeah,
but I still hate Ohio State. That's just one thing. That's
All
one
right.
rule. Number one
That's
rule
good.
in my rule book.
Yeah,
I think
we're
both
hating
sides
on
will
Ohio
agree with
State.
that.
We're just gonna have to start making some bets since I lost my betting partner. We left neutral,
Right.
and DMAC left, so we'll have to bet on something as we go along in the
That's
future
right.
weeks.
I think if you're a Big Ten fan and you don't go to Ohio State, I think it's by law you have to hate Ohio State.
Yeah, I think it's just if you don't go to Ohio State, no matter what conference you're in, you just have to hate Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
1, 2, 1, 2, my dog, 1, 2, 1, 2. Bigger than hip hop, hip hop, hip hop.
All right, Milt, spotlight's on you, buddy.
All right,
Let's
guys.
see if you can answer the call.
Get your popcorn ready because it's about to go down. This is Milton O'Quinn III's Athlete of the Week, and this week I have two. It's Merrill Davis and Charlie White, who danced their way into the Olympic history on Monday. The American ice dancers took home the first ever gold medal for Team USA in ice dancing at what? The 2014 Sochi Olympics. Davis, who's 27, and White, 26, scored a total of 195.52 points to earn them the gold. They have been skating together since 1998 and won the silver medal in Vancouver 4 years ago. These five-time national champs met at the Detroit Skating Club in 1998 and went on to attend the University of Michigan. So shout out to Merrill Davis and Charlie White, two local overnight celebrities that made Olympic history. And from all of us here in the Man Cave in Royal Oak, we thank you, and we look forward to seeing you guys continue to skate in future Olympics.
Boom, dude.
Boom,
Answered the
shakalaka.
call. What do you think, Jace? I think he got you.
I
That was pretty good.
I want
I
to
wrote
know
mine.
who wrote it.
I'm gonna stir
I wrote mine too.
the pot here. What about? Have you heard about the controversy regarding your two spotlight features over
You know,
there?
I read a text from Eric Lambier saying there was controversy. I didn't get a chance to ask him what happened.
The same French newspaper who first broke the Lance Armstrong doping scandal alleges that USA and Russia judges conspired together to give the U.S. to deny the Canadians the gold in ice dancing and give it to the Americans, while in the team event, the American judges were supposed to vote for the Russians to win the team event, and the USA was supposed to come in third. So both things actually ended up happening.
Is there proof of this, or is this just hearsay?
It's hearsay allegations right now, but the fact that they
Those
were
are
the
some
first ones on
major
the Lance
allegations.
Armstrong. They were the first one on Lance Armstrong, and everyone thought that was complete nonsense.
Wow.
And look what that turned into.
I don't want to hear about it, man. We won the gold.
I
We got the gold.
See, I'm not really complaining either. I'm just saying, just a little something
Yeah,
food
that's
for thought.
That's crazy.
Something
though.
for our listeners to think about.
Brand new flavor in your ear kind of thing.
While you were saying that, Jason was looking at me and he was saying that Milt plagiarized that entire thing.
Yeah.
You know, there was a, you know, it's not really what it's about. This is about just good journalism. And,
Hey, yeah. I mean, I'm happy, man.
you know, we're not
I want
get into that.
I want all of our
kind
segments.
thing.
I want all of our segments to be superb.
Yeah. And,
So
you know,
I'm a fan of your writing. Mitch is trying to
well,
Mitch is trying
Jace,
to create
you said
create a
I'm-
competition
I
here
am.
between us, and I think we're talking
I
about.
am.
I don't want to go there.
As someone with no segment, you guys had great segments today. I just got to say that.
Let's just keep writing great
They're both
segments.
very well done.
Yeah,
And
so
keep having
you
our
guys
segments
really,
be
You guys really
superb.
set the bar for me next time. I got to come up and think of something.
How about that?
Pressure's going to be
Mazel
on.
tov.
Let's just keep writing great segments.
Well, Jason, you set the bar high.
Yeah, you did.
And then I think Milt scrambled a little bit. He had a little panic attack. He was like, "Oh man, I really got to get this going."
Had a-
found the best thing he could in 2 minutes, and then he went with it.
I had it planned. I just had to.
No,
had to
I see.
practice
It's
my
in his
reading.
it's in his notepad
in
on
my
his
notepad.
app. So yeah, I mean, it's not plagiarized. I just gotta
Yes.
jog sometime.
He has citations that don't show up over on the radio. So
Did you find that on Wikipedia, dude?
Well,
Best
let's
source.
just say this:
That's
if
some
you were
that's
to,
some ESPN material. Right
actually, I'm not going to give away my secrets.
there. His
I'm the
sources are
man.
confidential, ladies and gentlemen.
So the NBA trade deadline was today, and your Detroit Pistons did absolutely nothing.
Yes.
God,
Whiff.
I'm so mad about that.
We need like a sound effect of a bomb dropping.
I
Just
know,
like the
seriously.
wind blowing or crickets or something like that.
Oh,
Because it was a boring trade deadline.
Very
today.
boring.
I'm not
I was
surprised.
really hoping the Pistons would do something along the lines of trading Monroe and possibly the expiring contracts of Rodney Stuckey and Charlie Villanueva to somehow get some draft picks back because next year's draft class is loaded. Lambier tells me that
They're-
Joe Dumars was fielding offers for Josh Smith.
He
I'll
did.
let you explain that.
I guess
Okay, go
there
for
was
it.
some tweets out there saying that they were getting offers for Josh Smith, but there were only people were only offering expiring contracts, and Joe just was having none of it.
See, to me, you do that.
Yeah, you do that. He had a chance to wipe away a mistake, maybe save his ass.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it.
I also heard, this is hearsay, that Joe Dumars has been frozen out by the owner.
Well, that's what I told.
You know, he's not allowed to make
That's
any
what I
more
told
moves.
Lambier when he.
That makes
'Cause I heard
sense.
that same thing, Milt, when he told me that. I really do think he's handcuffed, but he's in the last year of his contract. I think
The
that.
lame duck.
I think he's gonna walk. There are some rumors that he may be a potential candidate for the Cleveland Cavaliers vacant GM spot.
God help
And-
the Cavaliers if that happens.
They made a big move today, though, which I'm actually happy about. Their move helped the Pistons. They acquired center Spencer Hawes for pretty much nobody. They gave up draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks, I think, and a backup center. And Hawes is a solid player. He can stretch the floor. He's a double-double guy, about 14 and 10 rebounds. He's on my fantasy basketball team that's in first place, so he's awesome.
He puts up some assists too,
Puts up some
which is
assists.
nice to get from a big man.
He's an efficient player. So hopefully
He
with
stretched the floor.
them now having Kyrie Irving, Luol Deng, who they acquired about a month ago, and now Spencer Hawes, that they'll be able to pass the Pistons in the standings, and the Pistons will have a better chance at getting a high lottery pick. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
I think
that's a good way to look at it.
they needed to do that too, because you're not gonna keep Kyrie Irving much longer, until you put some players around him.
And the
Because
good-
why would he stay?
Right.
Like LeBron, you're just gonna leave eventually. So
Well, the good thing for Cleveland is that if this pushes them in the playoffs, it'll give Kyrie a little bit more incentive to come back because maybe he sees that they're trying to build a winner. If it doesn't work, Dang and Hawes are in the last year of their contracts as well, so they're going to hit the free agent market. They're not stuck with them for future years, and they can play with that money to give Kyrie whatever pieces he needs in the offseason.
I forgot Charlie Villanueva was on our squad.
I think
Has he
everyone
played-
did about
has
3
he
years
played
ago.
in a game this season? Does he have any minutes?
I think he
don't-
went in for 7
He's
minutes,
got to have some.
threw up about 18 threes, didn't get one rebound, and then got benched.
Yeah.
This is the last time I heard about him was him in that Kevin Garnett situation. I feel like that was 5 years ago.
He's barely playing, but he still hasn't raised any eyebrows about it.
Oh, but
man, alopecia
Al-
jokes.
Alopecia jokes. But should we talk about the big trade that happened today?
Yeah,
The
yeah, go
only
for
big
it. Fill
trade?
us in. You're our NBA insider.
All right, the Indiana Pacers sent Danny Granger and his $14 million expiring contract to the Sixers, who are in full fire sale mode this year, for Evan Turner and Lavoy Allen, I believe.
Yeah, so the Sixers that gave up Hawes and now Evan Turner
And Lavoy Allen.
and Lavoy Allen.
They signed Josh Mullins, or they traded for Josh Mullins.
Yeah.
For,
Well, that's a big trade for Indiana.
for Byron Mullins, sorry.
Their top rotation, their top 7 guys is going to be pretty stacked.
Mm-hmm.
You told us about it earlier, Lambier.
Indiana got their LeBron and D-Wade stopper, too. They gave up Granger, who was so-so on defense. So now when they come in, off the bench, they got Turner, who can guard pretty much anyone unless you put LeBron at the 4.
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
he's
guarding
younger.
them.
He's not injury prone.
And he can score.
And he can score.
Yeah,
he's
he can shoot
he's very
very well.
versatile. He can play
Yeah.
1 through 3. It's a good move for Indiana to
Philly
make their
played him
bench
at
a
the
little
point
deeper.
last year, I think.
Yeah. No, he's a very good player.
Mm-hmm.
He's not great. He's not going to wow you at anything, and he's not going to be a franchise cornerstone player, but he's a really good piece.
Yeah.
I think injury prone is an important part too. Danny Granger's been sitting.
Yeah.
They've missed him during the playoffs and big
It
stretches.
seems like he's missed parts of the last 3 seasons.
Well, he was the big name for Indiana
He
until
was, yeah, he was
Paul
their
George, became Paul George. Really,
Right.
It was Granger's injury, I think, that pushed Paul George to who he is
last
today.
year.
So do you
know?
think that Indiana was the most improved team coming out of the trade deadline?
I think you got to say so by far, just because it's the only name. I mean, other than that, there were.
What about
names.
Steve Blake going to Golden State?
I guess Steve Blake's not going to change anything.
I wasn't
really.
being serious.
People were saying that when Jordan Crawford went there, and he doesn't even get off the bench really.
No.
I feel like Golden State.
It was a good move for him,
They
though.
had their squad.
Yeah, that was a really good. I mean, from a basketball sense, that was a really good move. It wasn't flashy, but Lakers in full fire sale mode.
Well, they have to be.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
as a Kendall Marshall fantasy basketball owner, I'm very happy about.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because he was putting up big numbers.
Yeah, he puts up some big assists.
How about that? He came out of nowhere. NBA D-League.
Yeah.
Now he's back
Well,
in
he
the
was
NBA.
he tore it up at UNC.
Oh, yeah,
his
he was really
nickname was
good.
Butter because he had such slick passing skills.
Yeah.
My boy Swaggy P was doing some work in fantasy
Swaggy
basketball too.
P.
Nick Young,
Yeah, before
when
he broke
Kobe
his
went
knee.
out,
Yep.
and then he got hurt, so I had to cut him.
Yep.
Send him to the free agency. But yeah, Swaggy P was putting up some points.
I just have to remind everybody once again that I'm in first place in fantasy basketball and I'm in first place in fantasy hockey.
You should tell everyone how your matchup's going this week and who you're playing.
I do not partake in the hockey league.
And in
just
case
so
Mitch
everybody
doesn't
knows.
have the pride to say it, he's playing me this week and he's losing.
I was gonna get to it.
I think it was 6-2.
Effectively- Yes.
I think it was 6-2.
I think it was.
Yeah, but I'm down 3-6 to Hassan Sheik, so I can't talk any junk right now.
Lady don't take no shit, insist on respect the sister, walk around like a womanish. She won't speak unless it's something worth saying, don't play. The girl take herself so serious, people stare curious, she got a natural way. Her
Big
hips
news
sway
in sports
curious.
over the last couple of weeks. Michael Sam, defensive end from Missouri, who is now entering the NFL. He's a draft prospect.
Co-defensive player of the year in the SEC.
Yeah, big-time
Impressive.
player. Came out and says that he's gay. And as you would expect, it's causing a whole lot of controversy, lots of waves in the media, lots of people talking about it. Personally,
Which is dumb, yeah.
I don't know why it's such a big deal.
It's not
I mean,
that.
if you're in the shower with a guy and he's gay and you look at him, what's going to happen?
You're looking at him just as much as he's looking at you.
Here's what's going to happen. Either you're going to turn gay or nothing is going to happen. So I don't know why it's such a big deal.
It's a big deal for people older than us. That's kind of what I boils down with me.
The old timers.
And in the South, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry to all you Southern listeners out there, but that's my bias.
I think it's just a big deal of what the sport is.
Yeah.
They preach like the masculinity, and I don't think the fact that you're gay, means that you're not masculine.
Yeah.
If you can get out, he was co-defensive player of the year in the SEC, the best conference in college football.
Right.
If you could go out there and hit people,
Yeah.
and play football,
And if you watch his
then what's the
highlights
big
after all
deal?
of his sacks and all his big plays, he's up, getting rowdy,
Going
doing
nuts.
everything that everybody else does.
Well, his team knew. His team didn't act any
Yeah,
differently. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
He came out to his team in the summer before his senior season, and he said, they received it greatly, and there was never an issue.
They tore it up.
Yeah,
They're one game away from going to the national
Yep.
championship game.
His father was not happy though. Did you hear what his?
I heard
his
about
dad
that.
was
I
saying?
heard about that.
And
I think that's an older generation thing.
yeah, I just think that's your son. If you don't approve of what he has to do, then
He
like,
kind of
keep it to
retracted
yourself,
his
but-
words though a little bit. He
As
said
he
that he
should.
was misquoted, but he wasn't really misquoted.
Just throwing dollar signs.
Yeah.
Just throwing dollar bills in the garbage. Just
It was
by
like
saying
a
something like that.
rash, quick response, and I think he realized that he probably was wrong in saying what he did, and then came back and said, I support my son. I'm glad that this was a decision that he made, and if it makes his life easier, then it's fine.
That's a lie.
He got
that
a
was just a makeup statement. That's
he got a shout out
guaranteed
from
a lie.
Obama.
Yeah.
Obama was saying, that he's proud of him or whatever for standing up.
What do you think, Milt? Would you have a problem being in a locker room with a gay dude?
I wouldn't have a problem with it. I can see how a lot of people in the NFL would, just because they're set in their ways and homophobic.
Yeah.
But me personally, if he's your teammate, he's your teammate. As long as he's not trying to lip kiss me.
Exactly.
There's
they
no
make it out
problem.
like this guy is gonna look at them and
Right.
just go to them and start touching them and stuff. It's not
It's
like
the
that.
same
Right.
old story. Everyone's
Yeah.
been saying that for forever. I think it's only a big deal because he's the first. I mean,
Yeah, he is the first. He's
Well,
the
he's
first
the first
professional athlete,
openly,
openly
you
gay
know. I-
professional athlete.
In
think
all
they
these
gotta-
years, there has to have had been a
Oh, there's been
gay
guys who have come
football
out
player.
after. Jason
So
Collins,
Yeah.
John Amici,
Right.
both NBA players.
I'm saying the NFL, there has to be.
And I think I think Michael Sam's dad was so mad because it's not like his son came out and told one or two people, or if you for us, we're regular Joes, so if we come out or something, there's a small group of people know, but the whole nation knows. He probably leaves his house and everyone's like, "Oh, that's Michael Sam's dad."
That's actually a pretty good point.
It
I
only
never-
bothers you, but it only bother him if he has a problem in the first place. Because if people say that, I'd be like, "Yeah, so what?"
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
true.
It wouldn't really
I'm
bother.
sure he
him.
does at
He'd
the
just
end
be
of the
like,
day.
"You ignorant people,
Yeah.
what's your opinion?" Mean
No,
to
you're
me?"
both right, and they're both good points because for Milt's side, that is an avalanche. I mean,
Yeah.
think about
Yeah,
all
true.
that coming
Yeah.
down onto you at once.
Depending
It's
where he
not
lives.
just finding out that he's gay. Not that it's a bad thing, but it is a big.
It's a big deal.
It's a big event, and then the way that it happened and have everybody just coming at you saying, your son's gay. That's a tough thing to deal with, and it can maybe lead to statements that he made. But at the same time, Lambeer, you're right. You got to be the bigger man and just understand that this is your son, and yeah, he's gay. So what?
But you got to think about the NFL team drafting him, Not only is his family getting a media storm, but they're going to have a crazy media storm.
Right.
And whoever takes him in the draft is going to have a lot of cameras around, so they
Got
got
a lot of publicity.
They got to be willing to do
and
it.
that is one factor that may hurt his draft stock, which is unfortunate.
You should come to Detroit because we have a very, very, very small media market as far as paparazzi. And,
Yeah.
so he won't get harassed here as much as in New York or L.A. or.
If he doesn't bring the Lions a ship, he could play here any day of the week.
I'd love to see us draft him.
I think Seattle should draft him so he can keep the media off beast mode. Just all the media just go to Sam. No one has to, no
Not
one
only
has to
Beast
talk to
Mode,
Beast
Richard
Mode.
Sherman too.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
Sherman likes the media.
You know,
but
at the
he's-
same time though, Milt, that you say that, it wouldn't surprise me if a New York or L.A.
Publicity
based franchise took him, because all of a sudden all the publicity is on your franchise and you're in a huge market, and that's money and attention.
Well, I guess Sam's already getting gobs of money thrown at him for endorsements.
Oh,
I
I'm
guess he can pretty
sure.
much endorse like the pick of the litter. His agent was saying that.
Oh,
he's
it's a
just
great
getting
move by him
unlimited endorsements.
financially.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
he
gonna
was,
make so
he was
much
already
money off of
projected
it.
to only be a 3rd or 4th round pick, so it's
He's
not
the
like
richest 3rd or 4th round pick in the
Yeah,
league.
exactly.
Once he gets in there.
Well, I applaud the move.
Oh, yeah.
But that's going to do it for this episode of Mitch's Man Cave. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for welcoming Lambeer onto the show.
Happy to be here, guys.
Yeah, welcome, man. Welcome.
Welcome.
And having a good time. Had a great time.
We look forward to hearing from you soon, and you may now exit the Man Cave.